Good morning and welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I'm Ken Walls and I'm your host, and you guys all rock. I want to thank any of the Facebook Live viewers right now. I want to thank you up front for all your shares, for the hearts, the love, everything you guys give me all the time. I really appreciate it. So listen, I have a very, very good friend of mine, a very special guest on the show today from I'll probably say it wrong, but Quebec, Canada. He speaks French and I don't, but he also speaks English. Thank God. Hey, Aaron Hill, how are you? So I want to go ahead and welcome to the show Mr. Christian Codère. Christian, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you very much, Ken. It's a huge honor for me to be here today with you guys. I really appreciate.
Dude, you're freaking awesome. I'll tell you, I met you we had talked on the phone several times and did a little bit of business together, but I met you in person for the first time in Miami at the very first 10X Growth Conference. And one of the things I won't forget ever is when I shook your hand. I'm taller than you are, I believe, right? I'm a little bit taller than you, but like your grip, man, like you have a steel handshake. I'll never forget. My hand still hurts.
Well, my grandfather, the father of my mother, had hands this thick and this wide. It was amazing. It was solid like a rock.
You get it honestly.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of energy, so probably you felt when we shook our hand the first time.
You do. My wife is on here. She says, "Bonjour, Christian."
Bonjour, Jill. Ça me fait vraiment plaisir de savoir que tu es à l'écoute. I'm very happy to see that, to know that you're online, Jill.
Yeah, she loves you. So in fact, my wife helped me close the very first deal with you.
Yes, of course. We were three on the line when we closed that first deal. I remember.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And we spoke French a couple of time, and you did not understand what we said, but
I had no idea. You could have been talking about me bad, and I wouldn't have known.
No. It was only nice.
So Christian, this show obviously it's called Breakthrough Walls, and it's a show that I put together to. She said, "Merci, Christian." So it's a show that I put together to help people around the world who are stuck in life. And I know that you have been through all of the ups and downs in life, and you've had challenges, you've had to confront things, you've had to change things, you've had to pivot, you've taken them on the chin, you got knocked down and you got back up. And I know you're the CEO of 2080 Academy. And I have the hat. It's upstairs.
I gave you one in Miami last year.
You did. So I'd like to start with, I love having, first off, I love French. I wish I could speak French, but I can't. And when I found out that my wife could speak French, that was like just sexy to me. I was like, wow.
It is very sexy language.
Yeah. So, so all the women are going to be on here like giving you hearts probably. But so let's start with where were you born and raised?
All right. Well, I am a guy from a small town, a mid-town here in Quebec. You know, Quebec is today 7 million people only, so it's small. The town where I was born, the name is Sherbrooke. And Sherbrooke at that time had around 80,000 people. And I was raised in a mid-family, but my two grandfathers were entrepreneurs. one of my grandfather retired. He was 42 years old, 7 kids, so he was okay. Wow. And my other grandfather, well, they had that huge business from the past 75 years, and one day they decided to close the company because the competition was arriving and they did not adjust themselves. So they had to close one day. And so my two parents, I am a single children, raised in a middle family. I started to work, I was 12 years old. I was the newspaper guy. And this did not fell from the sky. I asked my mother, how can I have a job? And she said, what do you want to do in life? Well, I don't know. I want to work outside. I want to do something. And I would like to be the paper guy, the newspaper guy. So she said to me, why don't you call Louis, the actual newspaper guy, and tell him that you want to help him? I said, oh, I could do that? And she said, yes, of course, do it. So the next time I saw that Louis guy, I asked him, I said, hey, do you need help? I would like to work with you. And he said, of course I would. So you will be the paper guy on the Saturday. He wanted to sleep on Saturday morning, but I wanted to work. So I began to work there. And after that, I've been the Burger King guy. I've been the assistant manager at Burger King at 17 years old. I was the youngest assistant manager in Quebec. And after that, I hustled, tried something else, work in the bars, and after that, I began to work as a consultant.
Now, let's back up. So you were 12 when you got your first job. And,
right.
And you did that for how long did you do the newspaper thing?
5 years.
5 years. Wow. Yeah. So till you were 17.
Yes. But after 2 months, Louis gave me the business. He said, oh, I don't want to do it anymore, so do it.
Wow.
So I thank him. And I had that six day a week job. I get up every morning at 6 o'clock. I had to do my run before 7 o'clock. And that was the rule. And for me, it was important to deliver before 6 days a week.
Wow, that's incredible. So you started there, and you knew early on, very early on, you realized that delivering a great experience was important. But like growing up though, like and you mentioned both of your grandfathers being entrepreneurs. When you look back, like typically I think that there's some sort of an influence or a person, maybe an event that occurs that kind of points us in the direction that we end up going as an adult. What do you see as the biggest influence or influences in your childhood that kind of, before you even went and got that first job, early childhood, what do you think really influenced you to become who you are today?
My family. My father and my mother, they were working very often. My father was very proud of our land, the outside of the house. The grass was the greenest. The trees were the most beautiful. He was very proud and he was working very hard on that because that was his first passion. And my mother was very, very, well, she was strict. She was, but she was okay. Not too much strict, but she was strict. And she always taught me to hustle, to do the best I could with who I was. and every time she encouraged me to do good stuff and to be the person I wanted to be. She always respect me as a human and how I was, but she gave me, oh no, go a little bit left, a little bit right. So she tried to encourage me. And I think those values and the example that I saw from my parents helped me a lot in my life. And today I miss my mother because she was helping me all the time. And now she left 25 years ago, but I know that today it was important in my life. And I try to bring that to my little kid. Charlie is now 11 years old. So I try to help him the best I can with those values that I have.
Wow. That's incredible. That's an incredible story. So you had obviously had a very, very, you had a great upbringing, right? As a child. So at 17 years old, you decided to get out of the newspaper business. It sounds like you moved on to something else. So did you end up going to college?
Yes, I had, at that time, at 17 years old, I had 3 jobs. So I was the paper guy, I was assistant manager in a fast food restaurant, and I worked in a garage. And wow. I went to college, so I quit the 3 jobs, and I went for something that would bring me more money. It was a bar. So it was a very happy place, musicians, people who sing our Quebec songs, and it was very, very funny. It was four nights a week, but I had to do college. I had to go to college before that, and yeah.
So you went to college, and what's your degree in? Did you get a degree? Did you finish?
Yes, I went to, here in Quebec, it's different than US because we have college. After that, we go to university. So I end up with the first cycle, grade of university. And, during that time, I knew that it was easy for me to work with numbers but I didn't want to be an accountant. I liked marketing, I liked finance, but I needed something else. And right. One day I saw operation management. Okay. So I said, okay, that's logic for me. And so I went there, and somebody opened me a door one day, said, hey, why don't you come spend your summer with us? That was an industrial engineering consulting firm. Wow. So they said, why don't you come to see during 6 weeks what we do? And I think you will like that. So this was the start of who I am today in my professional life.
So with the and I'm trying to talk a little lower. I'm hearing a little bit of feedback. But with the so you went to college. You ended up in a what do you call industrial
engineering?
Engineering, okay. But at some point along the way, you got bit by the entrepreneur bug and
yes.
Decided you wanted to be your own boss.
Yes, of course.
Make millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Millions, billions.
Right, no. Right. So
yes.
So what how did that all come about?
I wanted to play in life. I wanted to play all the time. My father told me, Christian, you cannot play all the time. You have to work. You have to do something else. And no, that was not, no, something was missing. And I said to myself, Dad, I will prove you that I can play and have fun in life and reach my goal. Different goal than my father and my mother's goal, but
Yeah.
And so that's why I did it. And during the time I was working for somebody else, I knew I was learning. I've worked 6 years for somebody else, but I was learning a lot, all the time. And I was asking myself, okay, what will I do with that? What can I do with that? And one day I had an opportunity. I said, okay, now I will jump. And since I jumped into the river,
Yeah.
everything was taking place. Everything was perfect. And with the up and down and the rocks in the river and, but, but I knew I had this into myself. And I said, okay, one day I said, okay, I'm not ready, but I will do it. I will trust life and let's do it. And now I am a full-time entrepreneur. It's my 11th years at full-time entrepreneur.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So along the way, have you made any mistakes?
Mistakes. Of course, I learned a lot.
Right.
Yes. I made a lot of mistakes, but I took time to learn from them each time. Yeah. Because I knew that they were lessons. Mistakes arrived because I did not took enough time to think about it. And I will say something that Grant Cardone is saying a lot of time. Commit. Do it and figure it out later.
Yep.
And that's what I did all my life. I commit myself, I jumped, and after that, sometimes I hit the wall.
Sure.
And a lot of time it hurt a lot, but let's do it differently. Let's not give up, but try to do it differently to reach the goal. And that's what I did each time I made a mistake. I learned, I tried it differently, and most of the time, I reached the goal that I was aiming before I hit the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So, and I literally shot a video last night talking about, for this course I'm doing, I shot a video talking about how adversity, those mistakes, the falling down, all of that is absolutely 100% necessary. And everybody's trying to avoid them. And I understand that. Nobody likes the pain of making a mistake. But it's a necessary part of paving the path to success. Like there's not one successful person I've ever met in my life that didn't make some tremendously big mistakes along the way. It's just the way it is. That's how that adversity is what kind of shapes us, right? So I don't like making mistakes. In fact, I hate it. But I also have accepted now in my as I've gotten older, I've accepted that mistakes are just part of the journey, man. That's just part of the deal.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I will share this story with you. One day I had this mentor, and I talked to him about a project a business that I wanted to start. It was kind of a hostel there was that ski station near my place, and somebody proposed to me to start a project there, to build an hotel, a restaurant, and a pub. And I said that to my mentor, and he said, Christian, why do you want to do that? You will hit the wall. You will hit the wall. I said, why? He said, because you are specialized to optimize an organization that is in movement, not to start a business. You know nothing about that. And I said, okay, I really appreciate that you say this to me, but I will do it. I will do it because I have to learn how to start a business.
Wow.
So 1 year later, I called him back. Well, I spoke to him a couple of times during that year, but I remember that Tuesday night in my car in front of my cottage, I called him back, and the first thing when he he said, "Hello, you know what? You were right. I hit the wall, and I hit it tonight. But I learned a lot,
Yeah.
and I thank you very much for your advice. I needed to do it. I lost a lot of money, but that was an investment for me.
Yeah.
And a couple of months later, I started a new business with that knowledge. And today, I still remember everything that I learned in that big mistake. That was a lesson that was very, very important in my life.
And valuable. Like you can't, like you could go to university or college or whatever you want to call it, you know, 1,000 times and not get that kind of experience. And
Yep.
you know, I remember interviewing a kid a few years ago that was sitting in my office, and he needed an internship for the summer to be able to graduate with his marketing degree the following year. And he wanted a ridiculous amount of money to be an intern working for me. I'm like, dude, what? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm going to pay you to teach you? Like,
Yeah.
what are you bringing to me? How many times you been punched in the face in business, man? Because that's what it's about. Like, you don't,
Yeah.
like, everything that I mean, you know, everything we're doing in life is, you know, yes, sometimes it turns out great, but a lot of times it's a mistake we make. And then, you know, I think what happens, those people make those mistakes and they get stuck. They stay stuck in those mistakes. They don't see them the way that you see them. They don't see them the way that, like, hey, and you probably lost a lot of money, right? So, like,
Right.
you know, it would be a lot of money to Grant Cardone. Like, it's you know, so, you know, but you didn't stay stuck there. You didn't stay stuck there. People do that and they stay stuck.
Yes. And I think that, well, I learned another thing, and I will come back to this. Okay. I learned something because one of my specialty in life is I am a lean management expert, and this is the Toyota culture. And there is that cycle that we call the Deming Cycle, but it's from Short, but we call the Deming Cycle, and it's PDCA. Okay, so this is the PDCA cycle.
Yeah.
We have to plan something, we have to do it, we have to check the result, then we have to adjust and to act. But it's a continuous wheel. Okay, and we have to do this cycle all the time. So when you and I, when we start a project, we
Yeah.
plan, we do. Most of the people will stop here. We hit the wall, oh, then we cry and it didn't work. No, check, reflection,
Yep.
learn, take time to learn from your mistake, decide what you will do, then act, make a new plan, do, check, act all the time.
Yeah.
So this is very, very important. And if people don't open their mind and are not humble enough to learn, they will be stuck here. I did something, I stopped there, and I will never do that again.
Right.
Big mistake. Try it again, different way, do it again. Do it with somebody else.
Right.
Open your mind, shift your paradigms.
Yeah, dude, that's powerful, man. That is very, very powerful. So, and that, what did you call that? The Toyota what?
The Toyota way.
Okay.
It's the culture that is living into Toyota Motor Corporation.
Wow.
From the beginning of Toyota, they had to do a lot with not much. So they were always asking themselves, how can we do better? How can we be better? And to do it, what they did is, I don't remember his name, Taiichi Ono. Taiichi Ono, when he had a problem with the production system, he always get to the Gemba. The Gemba is the reality, is the floor, production floor. Yeah. He always get there and he asked to the people on the production line, hey guys, we have this problem. How do you see the solution? What do you know? What can you tell us? What can I do for you to resolve that problem? So, and it's continuously, it's improvement all the time.
Yeah.
So this is a culture worldwide, a continuous improvement. And like I said, in the beginning of the Toyota history, there was that Edward Deming, who, he was an American who helped Toyota, and he went with this PDCA thing, Plan, Do, Check, Act, and Toyota, they adopt that and they brought that into their philosophy.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I am taking notes. I'm going back over this because that's incredibly valuable. Thank you for sharing that. So what do you see? I know you do consulting with companies, and I don't know if you do any individual small business owner consulting type things, but
yes, I do.
I do have a lot of entrepreneurs that follow me and watch the show. And I guess I would say, what do you see, not just business owners, but people in life? What do you see as one of the biggest mistakes that people make in life and in business, that prevents them from really flourishing, that prevents them from attaining, wealth and massive success and all of that?
Well, I am still learning about
yeah, right.
But one thing I notice is people are, I don't know if I will use the right word. Is it selfish? People think about themselves instead of thinking about who they serve, the customer. And everybody is the customer of somebody. Even if it's not to sell something, but when we do something, we do it for somebody else most of the time, except the time we do it for ourselves. But sometimes I think people don't take enough time to realize what is the impact of what they are doing on other people's life.
Wow.
And we lose the global view of what we are doing in life. And everything is interacting with everything. And if I do this thing, they will have this impact. And what my mother taught me was think before you act.
Yeah.
Last time she told me that when I was young. And at that moment, I did not understand what she was saying to me. But today, I think I can take the measure of that, the power of that. And when I see enterprises, when I coach entrepreneurs, CEOs or general managers, sometimes I have to bring them this glasses. Okay, look at what you are doing. Look how you do it. Look how you talk to your team, and try to think the customer first. Okay, then you have to do the best you can to serve your customer. And this is a paradigm shift, because most of the time into enterprises, it's, the pyramid. I will draw something here. Traditionally, it's...
I love all these props that you're using. This is awesome.
Traditionally, a business is like this, or a project is like this. So let's say the CEO, the management, and the team. And it's top down. Okay, guys, let's do this. But the paradigm shift here is important, because you have to flip the pyramid like this. The customer is up, is on the top. The team, the management, and the CEO here. And the paradigm shift is the CEO must ask to the managers, what can I do for you? The manager must listen to the team and ask the team, what can I do for you? So you will be able to serve better the customer. So you have to listen to the voice of customer, bring it to the management. Hey, we need this to serve the customer. All right. So the management here have to come back to the CEO and say, hey, my team need this, and this. So, and this is a paradigm shift. And a lot of people forget about this, because they always think, I'm on the top, I know.
Right.
No, you're on the top, but on the lower top, because the team knows what the customer wants.
That is powerful, man. And I think that might be the best answer to that question thus far. That's awesome. Because I think you're right, man. You see it in businesses all over the world. I see it a lot, obviously, here in America, but it's everywhere. It's an epidemic where, we live in a me. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? Society, and like, people they don't get it. They don't get what you just said. And there will be very, very smart people that watch this show that are CEOs that think, that's just some crazy Canadian guy. What the heck's he know, right? So, but they'll stay in denial, and they'll still walk around flexing their CEO muscle, and
they will miss it.
And
they will miss a very important thing.
Yeah. And it's terrible, because businesses go under as a result of that, because they forget. They forget what the day that you open your business, it's and you get your very first customer, it's all about the customer. Like, it has to be, if you want to make it, right?
Absolutely.
And then as time goes on and you start experiencing success, I've seen it. I've done it myself, and not intentionally. I would never, ever, ever do that intentionally, but I have done it. And it sucks to wake up one day and go, oh my God, what have I done? One of those lessons.
And even if we know this, we have to fight it all the time. And it brings me back to the PDCA cycle. And for example, actually, we just launched a couple of months ago our academy, online academy, and the 2080 Academy. And we said, okay, let's start with this piece of knowledge. So let's bring this to the market. Let's bring this second one to the market, and this third one to the market. So we wanted the market to know what we are doing. And we had to start with something. Yeah. But actually, so what we did was we planned, we did, now we are checking. Yeah. And now we are asking ourselves, actually with my partner, Etienne, my partner, now we are listening to the customer voice. And in our cycle, we are actually checking, what have we done? What have we proposed to the market? What is the answer? And now, what do they want? Now I have to listen to them. And the second phase of content development that we will jump in a couple of days is we will adjust to what our customers want.
There is a I don't care what business you're in. This guy just gave you two pieces of the puzzle that you've been searching for. Those are two of the biggest pieces, if not the biggest pieces to the puzzle. And if you take this and you write down what he just said, you can literally, because, look, as a business owner or no matter, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Maybe you're in management in a company and you see this cycle, the bad part of this cycle, right? But something can always be done about it. So you can always, try to, you can either be at cause or you can be at effect, but you can't be both, right? So you can start like pushing to have something like this in place. I think it's phenomenal. And hey, we'll work out something. Get your link. You can send me your link or something, and we'll post it later. And you can offer something to the audience if you want.
Sure.
To offer some kind of a special deal. But is it all in French or is it in English?
Actually, it is in French because it's our native language. But as you know now, I can do it in English.
Yeah.
And I've been coaching people in English also.
Yeah.
But we have to adjust the years.
Yeah. Yeah, because not a lot of people in the United States speak French.
No.
Yeah.
And like you asked a couple of minutes ago, I can do it in English, and our intention is to learn the whole process to bring this knowledge to the screen of the people. So we are learning in French the process, but our intention is to translate in English and bring it to you guys, to English people.
Yeah.
Because, well, two reasons. First, there are more people to help in English than in French.
Yeah.
And as an entrepreneur, the English market is bigger than the French market.
Well, so I think that as soon as you have it available in English, we need to let people know about it for sure, because I know you pretty well, and you really know your stuff, man. So your answer to the question, the biggest mistake you see people making is they make everything about themselves and not. I mean, even in a marriage, in a relationship with a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, it's the same. Like if you have the mindset of the serving, then it's going to be a better relationship for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like you said, in our everyday relation, we have to think for the others.
Yeah.
And what can I do to make your life better?
Right.
I did not invent that. A lot of people know that, but it's easy to forget this part of the puzzle. And I'm very humble about this. I have to think about that very often in life also, because it's easy to think about me instead of the others. But even at home, we have 3 kids. My girlfriend and I, we have 3 kids together. And in the kitchen, it's easy to lose control of the kitchen, to clean the counter and to fill the dishwasher. But my thinking is, after I use the kitchen, why don't I clean it? We have to clean it, and to make it very clean for the next person who will come into the kitchen. So,
yeah, I hope my wife's not still on here.
But so it
I'm just kidding.
It's this principle there.
Yeah.
I think the other people.
So, what would you say at this point in your journey is the greatest lesson that you've learned so far in life?
The greatest lesson is listen to the little voice inside.
Mm.
The little voice will, well, the truth come from inside. And every time we listen to it, that's good advice. So that is sometimes a good kick in the butt. Okay, do it. You want to do something. Well, don't let anybody hold you to do it. Try it.
Yep.
If this is what you want to do it. And when you do it, the little voice will still talk to you. Listen to your little voice. And what I learned is each time I did not listen to my little voice, I made mistake. And a little bit later, I said, hey, 2 weeks ago, I thought about this. And today I'm hitting this wall. I knew it. Why didn't I listen to this little voice? So as a human being, as an entrepreneur, as a daddy, as a husband, I have to listen. We have to listen to this little voice. So this is, for me, a big lesson in life.
Yeah.
And to trust the inside voice and to be open mind to when people talk to you, listen. There is something to catch. If somebody takes time to give you an advice, even if it's not 100% okay with your paradigm, open your mind, listen to it, and then listen to the little voice and do whatever you want to do with it after. But I think this is a good lesson for me.
Dude, I totally agree. As a matter of fact, I wrote about that very thing in my book. I wrote about that very thing.
You wrote about that.
I've spent 15 plus years of my life, spending at the beginning of every day, spending a little bit of time meditating, just listening to my inner voice for guidance, right? So, and I don't, the problem with us humans is we have a tendency of ignoring that voice. We have a tendency of not believing that voice is really trying to guide us. And so we go in the opposite direction. But I agree with you, man. That's a great point. So if let's say that as an entrepreneur, I'll be 50 years old in July, and I've been an entrepreneur since my whole life really. I started mowing yards in the summer and shoveling snow in the winter, going door to door selling those services as a 7 or 8 year old,
Really?
But so I can remember pulling a push lawnmower behind my bicycle. Like I rigged it up where I tied these ropes. Yeah, and I would go door to door selling lawn mowing services. But like as a if as an adult, you have the responsibilities of paying, especially married with children. You got to put food on the table. You have to pay the electric bill. You have to pay the phone bills and the gas and the rent or the mortgage or whatever. And many times as an entrepreneur, the bills were higher than my cash flow.
Same here.
And I, wasn't able to pay a bill, had to call and talk to the electric company, talk them into not shutting off my electric, or whatever. I've had that happen so many times. So, now I've gotten good at over the years at not getting into those situations. But hey, when you're an entrepreneur, you run into cash flow issues. It just happens.
Absolutely.
So, my question would be for the guy or the gal that is they're facing eviction. They're facing a car vehicle repossession. They're facing, they have no money, nothing, not, and they don't know what to do. They don't know where to turn. They don't know, what would you say to the person that's down to their last few pennies and they don't know which way is up? How would you, what advice would you give them to help them, get a grip on it and really continue on the journey?
Well, that's a tough one. What the inner voice is telling me is don't give up on your dream. We all have up and down.
Yeah.
And sometimes people aim a dream instead of aiming something realistic. And when you are, I've been down. I've been really, well, there's a barrel. I was not on the floor of the barrel. I was under the floor of the barrel.
Right.
And I asked for help, moral help. My friends, help me. This is tough. I need moral support. No more cash. I use credit a lot in my life because when we use credit is, well, we have to think about a way to give the money back, but cash is a tool in life, okay? And it's a tool to which we give a lot of energy, and we can become sick because of money. Yeah. I've been sick about money.
Yep.
I've been really sick. But when we're down, we have nothing more to lose. So I had to accept to sell a car, sell the second car, sell the house, and to lower the life standard to come back to went from under the barrel to into the barrel, and then build the confidence and start something new, start something different, get some money, give it back to the bank, and start slowly but surely. And it takes a lot of self-confidence, and we don't have to be shy to ask for help, because people in their nature, they want to help. And when you help somebody, that person will help you back one day. And sometimes we have to be humble and go back to this person and ask him, hey, remember I helped you in the past. Now I need help.
Yeah.
I don't want you to give me $100,000. No, because I have to learn something. If I'm here on the under the barrel, there is a reason.
Yeah.
Why am I here? Then make decisions, plan something else, and try to do differently. Okay, but like I said, I went a couple of times under the barrel. And I took time to make things different, and I went up, and now, well, it's going well, but I know that I will hit the next wall one day. And that day, today, I made provision. I have a couple of, I made provision of money,
right,
to avoid the next wall. No, not to avoid, to manage differently the next time I will hit the wall.
Right.
But I don't want to use all this money now.
Right.
When I hit the wall, I have to find something else to learn again. How can I do it differently? And how can I do differently to avoid to go back under the barrel?
Dude, that's awesome, man. That is awesome. So wow. That was a great answer. Like I think everybody hits those walls, and that's why the name of the show is Breakthrough Walls, right?
Yeah.
We all hit those walls in life. It happens. It happens to everybody. And
And you wrote a book about that.
yes, I
Oh,
did.
sorry, show us your book, Ken.
It's called Walls of Wisdom: Turning
The Wall.
Pain into Profit. And it's literally a story about the ups and downs I've experienced in life and how I got through them, and how I continue to get through those. But I think that's what I love about having this show and having great people like you on it, is because it shows. I think that when I read a book, I like to hear, like I've read all of Grant Cardone's books multiple times, and and Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglar and all the greats, and Jeffrey Gitomer, who, by the way, he's been on the show, and some of these amazing people, and the thing that I look for the most in a book is the story. I want to hear the story. Don't tell me a bunch of rah BS that I can get that anywhere. Don't tell me, I want to hear about how you specifically hit a wall. That's why, and you were at the first 10X Growth Conference with me and in Miami, and Elena Cardone got up and she spoke. And
Yes,
when
I remember.
when she told her story about they hit a wall, like it was all what was hitting the fan, and and the real estate markets, everything was crashing, and Grant said to her, "We're in trouble. We are in trouble." And we may have to go to plan B. And she goes, "What is plan B?" And he goes, "I don't know."
I remember that.
Yeah, and I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly how she said it, but she said, "No, no, I didn't sign up for this. I did not sign up for if it all goes under and we lose everything."
And Elena told to Grant, you go into that room
Yes,
and you won't come back until you have find a solution.
right.
And that's
And
when he wrote Sell or Be Sold.
that's right. And you know what, dude? I literally, when she was telling that story, she's the only speaker that made me tear up. I literally teared up. And because I was like, man, and I've thought about, why did I tear up during that story? And I know why. It's because I've been there, man. I've been there. I've been there where it's like, where it feels like all hope is lost. Like there is no way to get through this. And then, just in small incremental steps, you start doing the right thing, and sometimes you still do the wrong thing. And sometimes you make the same mistake over and over and over until you finally learn your lesson. But, like I've been there, and it's like, I want to help people. Like, I know for a fact I'm not unique. I know I'm not. Everybody gets there. But you got to push through it, man. You can't stop. You got to come up with a plan. You got to take action, massive action.
Yes,
right?
Because you never know what life has prepared for you.
That's right.
On the next step.
Yep.
And I remember this when a couple of minutes ago, I was talking about when we started this hotel on mountain ski station. So I lost more than $100,000 in that specific time in my life.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend was pregnant, and I had to call back my mentor and tell him, "Hey, Rock, you know what? I hit that wall today, tonight, and now I am very down."
Yeah.
And I was really feeling the depression because my girlfriend was pregnant. I had nothing more. I was losing everything, and I didn't want to work for somebody else.
Yeah.
Again in my life. I took the decision to leave the security So I quit my job and I started this hotel with new partners. It didn't work well, but when I was that time under the barrel, I asked myself, what can I do now? And one thing I decided to do is to go back. So I called back my, the guy I was working on for 1 year ago. I said, hey, this is Christian. I need help. Do you have a contract for me? He was glad to hear about me because he knew I would deliver to the customer.
Yeah.
So yes, Christian. Okay. Give me 1 week. I will find something for you.
Yeah.
So he found something for me. And this part of the story is very, very important here. And during the time I worked back for him, one time he called me back. Hey, Christian, there is this guy in New Brunswick. New Brunswick is another state here in Canada.
Yeah.
There's this guy in New Brunswick who want to meet somebody because they need help. I said, no. I won't go there because you know that I want to sleep in my home each night now. I don't travel anymore. I don't want to do that. He said, Christian, listen to this. It's a hospital in New Brunswick. They need help. It's a cancer center. They want to improve the experience of the customer. They want to serve more customer. They want to reduce delay. And then I sat back. I said, oh, 4 years ago, the little voice inside of me was suggesting me to go work into healthcare. And I said, okay, I will go there. So I took the contract. I went there, and when I began this contract, just before beginning the contract, I asked to the manager in front of me if I could meet the CEO of the hospital to tell him what I will do into this hospital.
Yeah.
And the guy went, and we did. He opened his mind. He said, I will help you, Christian, with that. So after that contract, that same CEO told me, now that we improved the cancer treatment, your next job is the surgery. And I want you to do it, not the company you work for.
Wow.
And that was the clue for me. That was the thing that I was waiting for in life. And so I quit back the job and I started to work full time on my own in this hospital as a consultant, and my new career began there. And everything happened because I was under the barrel.
Yep.
Nothing more to lose. I accept to go back, work for somebody else.
Yep.
And life offered this opportunity to me later.
Yeah.
And I was very, very thankful for that moment. But I had to thank myself because I took the decision to go back.
Yeah.
And to be humble. And that was
you listen to your inner voice instead of your ego. Your ego was trying to say, I don't travel.
Yeah, you bet.
Right?
I've been traveling 5 years.
Right.
I didn't want to travel again.
Right.
I wanted to stay. No. I had to forget this.
Yeah.
And go back to work somewhere else. And I went up and everything took place. And after that, we had a couple of.
Yeah, sure.
It's another story.
But that's such a great point, though, man. You got to listen to that inner voice. You got, and the ego can really. So we're just about at the end here, but what do you do for fun? I see your pictures on Facebook. You have a lot of fun, man. You play.
Of course I do. One of my biggest passion is scuba diving.
Yeah. And
for fun, I am managing with other people. We are managing a diving center here in Quebec. It's in an area called Gaspésie, and it's on the seaside, Atlantic Ocean. It's called Le Club Nautique de Percé. So it's a a diving center into one of the most amazing place in Quebec. And what I like to do is to bring people dive around the island. Hey, you want to see the island?
There it
This
is.
is the island.
Wow.
This is where we start.
Wow.
So this is a passion, really, really passion for me.
That's awesome. And you've got some amazing photos on Facebook that you've taken underwater too.
Yes, and a couple of people in that place. Stephen Melançon is an awesome underwater photograph. And Bernard Faubert, same thing. Actually, the photo on my wall, the big picture of the big rock. There is a huge rock outside of the water there. And Bernard Faubert, his passion is to take picture every morning of the sunset, the sun rising.
Yeah.
Amazing color. It's amazing. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I just wanted, I knew.
You will come one day. You have to come with your family one day.
I know. I do. I need to get a passport. I keep saying that. I don't even have a passport. I need to get one, get my wife's renewed, and we need to venture our way up there. But so what's next for you, bro? What's next?
Well, what's next? It's the 2080 Academy.
Yeah.
Okay. And 2080 is the Pareto principle. Okay. Pareto is
the Pareto, is that how it's said, I think?
Yes.
Pareto principle, yeah.
Pareto principle, okay?
Yeah.
It's so for us, it's to give oxygen to the 2080 Academy, make it known here in Quebec, because this is a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
Because instead of when people want an expert into their organization to help them, the actual paradigm is somebody will walk into the organization. But now what we are doing is we are bringing the knowledge, packaging knowledge into camera and bring online package to enterprise so they can develop their own competence to do it themselves.
Yeah.
We will coach them to do it. And this is an all new way to do things here in Quebec. So we have to, the next step for us is to listen the voice of our customer. What do you need on your screen?
Yeah.
In terms of knowledge? And if I don't have the knowledge, I have a team. So I ask other experts to develop content for us, for the platform. And I want to bring more content to help more and more and more people. And the next step is to have the right content for our market and to make the Academy known here in Quebec, to reach the more people.
Yeah.
And today, I will end with this. Today, the interview that we are doing, this is the first interview for the Academy, and we will start interviewing people just like you do, like this, to our fans. And so I will, just like you, I want to talk with entrepreneurs, consultants, people that have something very interesting to tell to people, to share with people. So we will do the same that the Breakthrough Walls do.
Well, I got to tell you, man, I'll tell everybody watching that you and I have, we've been distant friends. We've had multiple conversations, and every single time I've had a conversation with you, it's been an amazing experience. You're just a very energetic, happy, and positive person, and I love that about you. You're an amazing guy. So
thank you very much.
I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you. And it was a last minute thing. We talked last night about you coming on for an interview. And I really genuinely appreciate you stepping up. And I'm so grateful that it happened this way, because I'd been thinking about, I need to reach out to Christian, and then I saw one of your posts, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to reach out to him right now. And I did, and you agreed, and I'm so glad that I did, because dude, you are you've brought a lot of value to this show today, a lot. And if people are watching this, if you're just joining, and you need to go back and watch the replay, because Christian knows what he's doing. Dude, you're awesome. How can people follow you? Where can they follow you?
Well, they can follow me mainly on LinkedIn and Facebook.
Okay.
We have a Facebook page called Academy 2080.
Okay.
And you could, I think you will post a link, eh?
Yep. I also tagged you, or I tagged it in the post last night as well. So yes, but I will post it for sure.
Yes. And short term, the content that I share is in French, but if there is a demand in English, it will be my pleasure to share in English with you guys, with people, because what I like to do is to share.
Yeah.
To share that content, share the knowledge, share the experience that I have.
Yeah.
So I am very, very thankful, Ken, that you invite me, and all you said to me, I will say the same thing to you. You are a very nice guy. I always appreciate the time we spend together, even if it was on the phone in Miami at the first 10X GrowthCon. Every time we spoke together, and you open your kind of open your family with me. You introduced me to Jill, and so I really appreciate. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for this opportunity that you gave me to talk with you and with all your audience.
Well, yes, the pleasure was mine, man. But you're welcome. But I feel like I'm the one that's been blessed here. So, and I'll tell you that. Again, I'll say this again. If you're watching this and you haven't seen everything that Christian was talking about, you got to go back and watch the replay, because the stuff he was talking about, you can utilize the two formulas that he gave you and change not just your business, but you could use those to change your life. And I mean immediately. You could do it starting today. Change your life. You could have that breakthrough. You can bust through and knock down the freaking walls that are holding you back, and using just those two things. So, Christian, thank you so much for being here. For everybody that's on here that shared this, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. All of the shares, and likes and loves and the hearts, and it means the world to me. I have so many wonderful people following this show, and I genuinely appreciate it. So, Christian, thank you. Everybody, thank you. Everybody on Facebook, thank you for the shares and everything. And bonjour.
Bonjour.
All right.
Merci. Je vous souhaite une belle journée. Je vous aime beaucoup. God bless you guys.
I can't go that far. All right. Hey, thank you guys. I'm going to sign off of Facebook. You guys have an awesome day today. And if you didn't see the whole thing, watch the replay so you can learn from this unbelievably smart guy. Christian, thank you so much. We'll see you guys soon. Peace out.